Hey guys, so I've been fairly consistent with this series, just in case anyone wants to see it. And honestly, this is something I can do once a day, honestly, until I get finished. I might do more tier lists in the future, though there isn't really too many, and I'll have to change up the style, maybe get more professional app at the very end, stuff like that. Well, maybe my assistant, but like I said, it's kind of, I don't want to has-ass Carrie to do all that, so most likely not going to, but I might at some point if this gets any attention. Though I don't expect every video to just get like views or anything. Is cool, but you're not here for that. You're here for part 3 of the Clash, huh?
So, have you decided to call me anything else besides your assistant?
Oh yeah, assistant. Sorry, I called her Carrie. She got upset. Sorry, assistant. All right.
What?
All right. So we're just going to ignore her. Okay, so we're gonna be starting off with the zap. Alright, here's the thing about the zap. I originally was gonna put it lower end, but I forgot that it was only for 2 elixir. This is one of the cards that I remember having to like use. Like, especially, even looking at the examples, the fact you can reset stuff like that just might save your skin for 2 elixir. The stun is good. Honestly, I do think that, like, for its price, if you're looking for, like, something cheaper, for the 1 to 2 elixir department, and plus what its purposes can be for, between zapping, like, a horde of minions, and you can just finish them off with the Archer Tower, honestly, I'd say zap is definitely in A tier. Like, I didn't think I was gonna say that. I thought I was gonna say B tier, but zap just has a good amount of uses for 2 elixir. You gotta think about it. 1, 2 elixir don't take that long to generate. And it's a good counter card. Minion Horde, honestly, isn't that great for me. Here's why. They can be easily countered, like I said, with zap, arrows, poison. They can be easily destroyed by so many things, and they cost 5 elixir. I'm not gonna call them a failure or bad, because they do have cool purposes. They're really powerful, like as strength, and you can put them behind someone. But to me, this isn't really practical for this unit. Really, if you're gonna go for someone with like a bunch of units that kind of do some damage and stuff, you're attacking ground units or whatever the purpose may be, stick to bats. Not they do as good of a job as minions, but they're a lot cheaper and they do a similar job to it. So that being said, Minion Horde is a C tier. It's not bad. I definitely think it's just okay. You can definitely do a lot more than Minion Horde, in my opinion. And the price is a lot, and it can easily be countered. I've countered Minion Horde so easily with the deck I use. Though I'm gonna show you at the and before we show you the tier list at the end of the video, so I'll pause it and I'll show you what I use and how I win. Basically, I won every match, like so far. Like,
Minion Horde is a C.
yeah, C for.
Anything before that?
Oh well, Zap was a for awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to know.
No, we're just on our third one right now, so we're gonna talk about it. Inferno Tower. Now, Inferno Tower, I was kind of slept on for like a while, because it costed so much for defense. But honestly, it could take down golems, it could take down like lava hounds, it could take down so many like the most powerful units, Pekkas. And so it is like not a good counter card, but also stays longer. Yeah, Electro Drag. Like, thing is, I mean, Inferno Dragons have weaknesses to them, but in the current meta, people who use Inferno Dragons are actually kind of smart because people don't use that many electric cards and stuff like that. To take out tanky or killing the Mega Knight as well, which I think is one of my strongest cards. Inferno Dragon can defeat them. Really, any big strong guy. Inferno Dragon is worth it because not only they can take out that, they can even fight even longer after that. So Inferno Tower is going to get a solid B plus. Like, it has its use. It's pretty useful. Definitely not my personal pick, but definitely like it's definitely usable. I don't mind using an Inferno Tower. I definitely have mad respect for the Inferno Tower. Definitely glad it's in the game. Okay. Now Mega Minion's kind of cool. He's like the only like melee unit that's in the air. Like, he has to be up close. And he has some good stats. Like, he's, like, kind of, like, slightly tanky. And for cheap, kind of reminds me of, like, a flying knight, if that makes sense. Because he kind of, like, does, to me, similar damage and similar health. Maybe less health. Probably less health, but you get it. Basically, it's more of, like, a basic unit that can fly. No, he doesn't have the same strength or, like, speed as him. But if you were looking for, like, a unit, like the knight, but, like, you wanted him to fly, Mega Knight is a good pick. He's not my perfect unit, but for 3, I can respect his game, and I can give him a solid B. He can just stick at B. Like, it's a B tier. Nothing more to say. I could use him. I have used him. There's better picks, but it doesn't deserve to be at C. I think it's for its price B tier.
Let me pause the video real quickly.
What? Oh, okay. Let me pause it real quick. Alright, I'm back. So, now we're on to the 5th card. Okay, Lightning. Lightning does a solid amount of damage. Like, a lot of damage. It makes sense. I think it does, like... I think it might do more damage than the rocket, but I'll have to look. Okay, so I just looked up the stats if you were wondering for us nerds. Okay, so rocket has more damage, and but here's the thing: lightning can not only stun enemies for half a second as well / restarting the timer, but it's like okay, they only hit 3 targets though. The rocket can't anything, but like the radius in lightning's a lot bigger. Rocket is like a very small radius. That's why I cannot depend on the rocket. If I was gonna get like a very like strong thing of spell damage that costs a lot, I would have to choose lightning. Though for me, it's not optimal to get spells that cost a lot. Like the more expensive things are for my troops personally, but I do think for trying not to be biased, lightning is pretty solid. Like it does do its job and eliminate a lot of powerful things, and you can get your money's worth for sure. And rocket, you might not hit everything, and it takes longer as well to launch. So yeah, like when we talk about rocket, it's gonna get a lower rating. So if I'm comparing lightning to rocket, lightning's going to get a solid B plus. Alright. I definitely recommend using lightning. It is pretty powerful. I also recommend Zap as well. Zap's pretty cool for just 2 elixir. Like I said earlier. Pekka. Now Pekka is the one unit like that. I don't know how much the Mega Knight is, but I'll keep comparing units to Mega Knight because he's awesome. Like Pekka could slaughter Mega Knight, and Mega Knight has a ton crap of health. Like Pekka could slaughter a lot of people. He was like so much high damage, and he has a lot of health. Like obviously he can't target that many fast people, but he can obliterate a lot of people, and he can obliterate towers. He is expensive though, but definitely a top tier unit for me, because he can like obliterate most things. If you have like, because obviously you wouldn't have a Pekka getting attacked by the skeleton army. Like as you see his clip for me, you always have something behind the Pekka, either in 2v2s or 1-on-1, like a bomber, or at least something cheaper. Because I get it, because Pekka is kind of expensive, or some kind of way, or like skeleton dragons or baby dragons. Also, I got my hands early on the skeleton dragon, so I might be able to get. I'll probably be able to get to that before releases to the public, because I was able to get it by like doing this challenge, this free challenge. So yeah, I'll get back to you before the 11 days or 12 days, so you'll get an early look on it. Also on the same day, I also got me another legendary, which is someone I think we're gonna be rating today. So that's amazing. But yeah, that being said, I do think the Pekka is a solid A minus. I wasn't gonna say A, but it does have its quirks, and I do see it being countered a lot, and I can counter it like a good amount of times. So honestly, Pekka's A minus though. Even with that, like people can counter it, and it's 7 elixir. Higher elixir cards don't tend to be like, they tend to be really strong, but you can counter them, and Pekka is no exception. A simple skeleton army can take it down. And not everyone's going to have something back up the Pekka. Some people use princes, which is the dumbest strategy. Do not throw 2 on people who, are people who only hit 1 unit at a time. Like, who does that? Like That's so stupid. Like, I literally use one skeleton army and they're both dead. Like, and I saw that in the latest arena, and that's what I'm on. I'm on the best arena, not on like challenge things or like where there's extra rewards after that. And I'm kind of where where the cards are arena 12, but I am at the top of it, and I just got, like I said, that legendary. So, and I won every time with the deck I got, but we're not here for that. So next up, we're talking about legendaries. So I got some of them. I think around half of them, I believe, maybe a little bit less, but around half. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I do not have the miner. Unfortunately, I would I think I mentioned in the previous episode, a good goblin, slash miner combo pretty cool, because miner can kind of go anywhere on the field. And he can't just be killed by arrows. So pretty much for the same price, miner's kind of better, but then again, the miner, I don't know if he does as much damage as a goblin, I don't think so. But yeah, he has kind of average stats. So I can rate the miner, like, but don't take the opinion like too much, because I've played with them a little bit on a few different challenges, but he's kind of like an average unit, kind of like how the knight is. But he can go underground. Knight might be slightly stronger because obviously he can only walk, and how the Mega Minion can fly. He's similar to him, but I think the miner is a solid B. Yeah, it's a B. You can use him. He's not the best for legendary. I am considering the fact he's at legendary, so I'm gonna put legendary in the fact that it is hard to get these characters. Epic, rare, and common, I will not do anything with rarity. But like, if it was just a regular card and not you have to get your pay money for to get usually, or be really lucky, then like it's like I would probably put it at A if it wasn't because of that, or B plus. But for whatever. Lava Hound. Now Lava Hound's actually a legendary I do own, and I don't like it. I like literally I have him at level 10, by the way. It says in level 9 right here, but I have him at level 10 actually. I can prove it to you. And the sad thing is about the Lava Hound is that he's my only legendary that I got twice. And that sucks. I think if I remember all legendaries, the Lava Hound seems to suck. Like, all he does, like, get destroyed, and then, sure, this example, the knight. But honestly, people can counter that, even on one-on-one situations. If you're playing 2-on-2s, not trying to risk trophies, definitely get murked instantly, but even on one-on-ones, you're getting murked instantly. Like, all you gotta do is get, like, a, Inferno Dragon, sometimes you destroy it, or, like, that Tesla can just kind of, like, knock it. For 7 Elixir, like, sure, it's kind of a mix, like, of, like, a tank and like minions, or like a troop that can do a good amount of damage. But here's the issue: just do a tank and put those units behind him, because you're pretty much losing the tank and the little guys can get shot. Like, it's pretty much what you don't want in a tank. Like, that being said, and for its expense, do I consider it at like bad as giant and regular skeleton? No. I'm gonna put it at D tier. D because it's a dog. Like, seriously. Not a dog like a good dog. What's it? Like a bad dog. Like, it was supposed to be like a pun because Lava Hound. But yeah, it's just gonna be D. It's pretty bad.
What's it, D?
Alright, so now on to Spell Valley. Bats. Okay. Honestly, bats are like... I use it in my regular deck, actually. The one that I win a lot of matches. Because it's like a very cheap counter that does solid damage. Similar to Minions, actually. Like, I think they eliminate, like, Barbarians kind of around as quickly. Just about. Like, maybe not all as much damage, but for 2 Elixir, it does nearly the same. And sure, health was, like, non-existent, but the Minions never had that much health to begin with. So, bats are just better, like, it's just better. Like, sure, Minions, you just unhorde of them, like, they can kind of destroy a tower, and bats can be destroyed instantly. But, like, thing is, people are gonna counter the Minion horde, let's all be honest. You gotta think about player minds. So, bats are definitely, I'm not gonna say S tier. Obviously, because they're that trash, sure, like, Their aerial thing. Actually, no, it's gonna be S tier. S for success. It's the best for its job. You're looking for ground units that cannot hurt, like barbarians or a Pekka. Like, honestly, it is pretty fire. Like, it can be destroyed just as fast as minions, but they don't have as much of a cost burden. So they cannot really waste much, except, like, because even, like, there's no spell that costs 1 that can destroy things. Except maybe the Ice Spirit, but that thing is... Nobody really uses that. And it's not like it's going for bats most of the time, and you can't, like... Obviously, you get what I mean. It's not really a spell either, so... So, yeah. So, really, if anyone tries to destroy the bats, most likely they're going to have a spell that's either the same or more costly. So they're losing out destroying the bats. So, yeah, mathematically, and what its purpose is S tier. Like, what? Sure, bats can't, like, obviously, sometimes, like, a prince or Pekka get through because they're, like, stronger and they can't just take it. That's why you need a skeleton. I have a skeleton army and bats. Like, they're both S tier for me for different reasons. Anything in my deck I consider S tier, let's be honest. I don't think arrows was, though. But, still. It's hella good. Okay. So, Fire Spirit. Oh, yay, regular Fire Spirits. Okay, they're not bad. They do a solid amount of damage for 2. Sure, they can be destroyed, but they can kind of basically take out a whole thing of minions. And if a thing's a tank, it's not really gonna matter. But it can take out groups of enemies. But if they get killed before they even spawn, that might be terrible. But Fire Spirits is a B tier. Like, definitely a B tier for its price. Pretty good. Nothing to say about it. It's good. Like, you can definitely take out some groups with it if you know how to use it. Furnace. Furnace is, like, to me, the upgraded and better version, though it does cost double the amount. You get a lot more of them, Fire Spirits. And you don't even need 3 for 1 attack. You only really need 2. And you can just keep summoning them. Not only can you use it as a building for a distraction if you need something like a balloon might aim for or something you could put in front of it. Or put it behind and just kept letting those guys just get spawning and spawning. It is definitely pretty solid. I'm going to put the Furnace for counter for its price and everything. I'm going to put it at B+. Though I do think both of them are good for their own thing, because Fire Spirits is not like cost half the price and it's cheaper. Good for basic counters. Furnace is like double the price, but I still think it's slightly better overall. But they're both good. Like, don't get me wrong, they're both good. Now, Wizard I haven't used much of, but they're a really high damage dealer. Like, they do so much damage. It's ridiculous. But that's because they cost 5, and if they can easily get demolished. Not easily, but they're not really the strongest. But you always put something fun of the Wizard, and the Wizard can do hella damage. Like, Wizards can do hella damage, bro. So, Wizards is going to get an A tier from me. It's definitely not, like, a top tier, but I do think it's really great. Like, I don't use Wizard, but when I do use Wizard, Wizards are awesome. When I do. But it's not my regular deck because, like I said, I think Price or I have other cards already used, so. Tornado. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use Tornado too much. Like, it doesn't do way too much damage. You might as well just use arrows because similar range. And arrows does more damage. Tornado can hold things back, sure. The only thing I can think of is that demonstration where, like, but it's really hard to, like, get it where, like, the enemy will change targets and get it that close. Plus, it's kind of risky letting your enemies get close. But I don't think it's a bad spell, so I'm gonna say that's C tier. It's okay. Tornado's okay. Like, it probably could be changed for a different card, like, in your deck to make it good. But if people who do have it, I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good. It's just in the middle. Like, it's all my opinion. Maybe I'll feel differently about certain cards. Maybe using it for way. From my experience of using Tornado multiple times, it's alright. Alright, now we're back, everyone. So, now we're going to be on to Poison. Okay, so poison's an interesting spell. I think it. I think at the end it does do like a good amount of damage. But if I'm being honest, I'm pretty sure Fireball for the same amount does more. I swear it do. Sure, it's like a lingering effect. But if I remember, like for its duration afterwards, like using both spells, like I'm pretty sure Fireball is like actually better. Like in basically every way. Don't get me wrong. I think it does have a slightly bigger radius, like than the Fireball, but like compared to spells, like Poison is good. I think Poison's a C plus. Like it's a C plus. It is better than okay, but I don't consider it good. But it's definitely not mediocre. Like it gets the job done, but there's solutions to it that are kind of better for the same price. And arrows do similar damage. Not the exact same, but let's like not all enemies are gonna be in the poison. Like some of them are kind of too fast and kind of leave. But then again, though, poison is if you can get an enemy in there for the whole time that isn't quick, or you have them slow down, poison can be deadly. As you can see, I think it does do more than fireball. But like you're not gonna get that situation every time. Plus, enemies can still attack while that the poison is on. So yeah, so it's a C plus, though it's debatable. Magic Archer is actually someone I use a lot. Like, I use it in my actual deck. It's not like the best spur shot where it can take down everyone. It's not like it just attacks skeletons. Like, it can. And it can do that on purpose, but there's better users for that. And you're probably like, okay, then why the hell do you use this? Here's why. What it does is that it can, like, pierce through and hit multiple enemies. Sure, spur shot enemies can do that. But let's say it's in front of, like, a tower, and there's a giant in front of it or, like, another unit. And plus, I always have, like, a Mega Knight or, like, what's his name? Other characters, like, strong, like, Mini Pekka's in front of it. Like, because obviously I'm a strategic player. Magic Archer would always, like, just sit there behind them and start, not always, but most of the time hitting behind it. Like, and hitting the enemy as well, which tends to work out in my favor. And he's a good counter card. He's not the strongest card, but I'm not gonna say S tier like for bias sake. I do want to say he is B plus. Like he is B plus. Okay, so now we're gonna be talking about the Night Witch, the final unit. Literally, here's the interesting thing. When I had that final like legendary chest, I had two choices. I either could get the Night Witch, or I could have got the Ice Wizard. I ended up choosing the Ice Wizard, and I'm glad I picked it. But Night Witch wouldn't have been bad. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about the Night Witch. So the Night Witch is pretty decent. From what I've seen and the little bit I've played. Again, don't take my opinion just like for the minor, the heart, because I never had this unit or got to experiment with them way too much, except maybe in a draft once or twice, which might have not always been the best case to show play with them. So I'm not gonna give her benefit of doubt. It's just what I've seen. So obviously this one is definitely debatable, but Night Witch is cool because like she's like the let me think. The thing is that what I liked about the Witch, the Night Witch does better in one way, but takes a back step, like 5 steps in the process. The bats are cool because they have the same like thing like skeletons, but they cannot be hit on the ground, and bats are obviously, like I said before, really awesome for that price. And Night Witch only being 4 elixir being less cost than the regular Witch. The problem with the Witch is that she has a melee attack, which isn't good because she'll be targeted before other units. And sure, even though she spawns bad on death, and she's really good, I can imagine. Arrows can take care of it, certain units. Like, the regular Witch has, like, a range thing that has more versatility, which can kill area unit, group units, and just has, like, a range attack. The Night Witch does lose that for exchange of bats and slightly cheaper price. I would probably say I can probably estimate her being around A tier. So we'll go with A tier for Night Witch. Because it does have some good things if we're doing comparison wise. Definitely pretty chill.
Song?
Right, we're back here, and before we look at the other cards, I did mention my deck a few times, and if you're wondering how well I did and how I got there, this is personally the deck that got me like all these wins consecutively with some skill strategy. And I'm not saying no deck can beat this, but I have won a lot of games with this, and I haven't lost with this deck set up yet. Though I did come close, and I do consider myself a master tactician in this game, so I guess I can work with a lot of different decks. But here's what I like about this one. These are the 8 cards that I use. Some of these are from the beginning, actually. That's how interesting and good they are. They held up. Really, most of these cards, like the latest card is from Arctic, which is where I use the Lumberjack. But the reason I use the Lumberjack for this deck is because he provides not only a quick attack, and he makes a solid like melee unit that isn't the Prince, because Prince is more for my offense when I'm going for the towers. He's kind of like I can use him like take down like a wizard or something. Plus, he could drop like a rage potion, which powers up all of my units that go by it. Which sure I could use a rage potion, but the reason I know that is because Lumberjack is a good strength unit. And yeah, he is worth it. He's worth it. I used to use Balloon, but the Balloon got destroyed too much. But Lumberjack is still good. So I don't want to talk about the deck too much because we're kind of here for the final result. But this is kind of what I use, and it probably doesn't look like the best setup. It's a 4.0, which is probably a good amount of elixir you should have. The counters are good. My arrow skeletons. My hunter is also really a counter. Like, my most offensive cards are the Prince, Mega Knight. Actually, any of these cards could be used as defense. Don't get me wrong, any card could be used for different purposes. But the bats are specifically designed to, like, take down certain unit skeleton as well. Arrows as well. Well, arrows could also be used to finish off a tower. But yeah, it's the kind of cheap in and out because I do have, like, the Mega Knight, which costs so much. And the Prince costs a decent amount. But yeah, it does work out in the end, obviously. Really good cards. Love them. This is what I use, and yeah. This is the final tier list, and this is what everything looks like. And no, I know you see at A tier says Zap Wizards, but my assistant meant to put slash after Zap, but it's kind of alright. Long day. And yeah, this is everything in my opinion. And don't take it to heart. This is like how viable I see certain cards. And I don't, like, Clash Royale in the most part has a lot of unique cards that can be used in different situations. A lot of them are good in their own things. They can do different purposes. And it really is the reason I love Clash Royale. Obviously, there's a couple in personally slip-ups to where it's like, okay, this should either be cheaper or just out of here. Or maybe I'm just using it in the wrong purpose, but like, again, for example, Lava Hound, like, I guess I could throw a knight down, but, like, you could counter it even with it. Like, I've been able to counter it, and, like, if you want to tank for that much, like, elixir, use the Mega Knight. It may not fly, but still, it's just, like, it's really good. But I will talk about Mega Knight and why I basically, metaphorically, suck his dick so much, and why he's one of the S tier units that's like, okay, just like, okay, these units really shouldn't be here because they just counter stuff way too easily, and they're too good, like, they're too good at their job. Alright, so yeah, peace.